So yesterday we talked about wisdom building its house, and as wisdom builds its house, how's it built? It's built in perfection. It's built centered around the dining table, and the course is the wisdom of God, the wisdom of the Word of God. And who is invited? Wisdom sends out her maidservants, and they go to the heights of the city, and they invite everyone. But today we're going to look more specifically. We're going to look specifically at who is invited. And who specifically is invited, we see here in Proverbs chapter 9 and verse 4. It says, whoever is naive, let him turn into her. To him who lacks understanding, she says, come eat of my food and drink of the wine I have mixed. And so whoever is naive, the naive ones, you are invited to come. Now, oftentimes we look at naive people as being just, the foolish of the fools. And so they are the naive ones. But then it goes on to say who lacks understanding as well. And so let me ask you a question. Do you lack understanding? Sometimes we like to walk in pride, and as we walk in pride, say, well, I know everything that I need to know. I know everything about life. I know how to live my life. I know how to walk the walk. I know how to talk the talk. I know how to live it out. But let me understand, are you lacking in wisdom anywhere in the Word of God? Anywhere in the Word of God? Is there any place within the Word of God that you're lacking wisdom? I want you to understand, I have been studying the Bible for a long time, and I take the study of the Bible very seriously, and I study the Bible every day. Every day I open this book right here, and every day I get into the Word of God and I study it. I preach the Word of God. I teach the Word of God. But I want you to understand there's some areas in which I lack understanding. And so if I get to that point of areas of which I lack understanding, and if I'm going to preach on that subject, or I'm going to teach on that subject, or I'm just doing a devotional study and just spending some quiet time in the Word of God, maybe I'm scratching my head and you'll come across something and it's like, well, maybe I hadn't thought about that before. What in the world does that mean? So for my own personal benefit, you know what I want to do? I want to walk into the house of wisdom, sit down at the dining table of wisdom, and just sit there for a little while and just start chewing on some of the meat of the Word of God to where I could get a better taste and a better digestion of what is really being said right here. So even I lack in wisdom. And so you look at those who are the wisest of the wise, and they don't know everything there is to know about all of God, about all of the Word of God, about every subject and everything that is taught within the entirety of the Word of God. Now, I look at some folks, I listen to some of these apologists, and so these apologists, what does that mean? That they don't go around apologizing, but they go around to universities, they go around all kinds of different places, and they're defending the Word of God. They're defending the doctrines, the teaching of the Word of God, and people stand up and ask them questions. And as they stand up and ask them questions, sometimes people are trying to trick them, trying to trip them up a little bit, just like they did with Jesus in his day. And I listen to some of these guys. Look at Ravi Zacharias, who recently passed away. You look at people like him and you think, man, they know everything, right? They know everything. They just have such phenomenal wisdom. They can never be asked a question that they don't just start spitting wisdom out of their mouth, and it just blows you away how much that they know. And it really is mind-boggling. But I'm sure if you pin down some things within their knowledge, they'll tell you, maybe I have to do a little bit more research. Maybe I have to do a little bit more study. Maybe I have to do a little bit more digging into the Word of God. So who's the naive ones? Who are those who are lacking in understanding? Friends, it's all of us.